And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the second series of the broadcast. Welcome back to the round 16 as we are jumping in and following Harstem into his next matchup. Here we go, as spawning in the right-hand corner of Tokamak, we have the South Korean Terran player, the Red Terran, representing, I believe, still Streamer Zone. It is HonMonO. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the Blue Protoss player, the Blue Protoss player himself, representing the land of the Netherlands and Shopify Rebellion. It is Harstem. From the land of the Netherlands, representing Shopify. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is? It is Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat. Coming into this is going to be a much closer matchup. Medic Jr., he's more of an amateur player stepping into the ring against a pro. But here we have the big dogs, the big names facing off against each other. I'll be honest, I still lean a little bit towards HonMonO. I mean, hey, HonMonO did already defeat Harstem at Dallas, but now they have the rematch. Now they have the rematch here, and if Harstem didn't know the playstyle of HonMonO before, now he has a better idea. For those of you that are in the chat that are maybe new viewers, we've been casting HonMonO for many years, and again, as I mentioned before, he is the cheesiest player in South Korea, or amongst the Koreans, the cheesiest Terran, I should emphasize, because there are some other cheesy Zergan Protoss players, of course, but when it comes to hyper aggressive, hyper cheesy Terran, you do not get cheesier than HonMonO. And here we go, he does nothing but all in this matchup. Sometimes it's a 1-base all in, sometimes it's a proxy, sometimes it's a 2-base all in. It is a rare sight to ever see HonMonO get a 3rd base, specifically in TVP. Against Zerg and against Terran, he will play more standard, but against Protoss, he is unchained. He is unchained. He's an animal, man. He's he is an animal. So we'll see if Harstem has learned from his experience. We'll see if Harstem can overcome the animalistic nature that is HonMonO. No boy. We shall see. So now we do have initial 3x Reaper here out of HonMonO. Harstem, he does scroll around across the map. He's going to be scattering across the map here, going to be dipping his toes in towards the main. HonMonO does get across, does lift. And the boys being pulled. Oh, did he see? That would have been close. That would have been very close. Did he spot the boys being pulled? That I'm not so sure about, but here we go. The boys are moving out across the map. The Reapers are massing as well. Back at home, there is a sentry. There's going to be a force field available. That's going to be a big moment here for Harstem. Yeah, sentry is spotted. Does spot the sentry. The rest of the Reapers have arrived. They rotate over. Shield batteries on the way. Shield batteries on the way. The boys, they are here. And we're diving on the Stalker, but again, there is that force field. Yeah, for now, going for the shield battery. Again, Harstem has a very nice defensive setup here. Yeah, it does pull his own boys. The shield battery does hold, and Harstem, he's defending. Yeah, Harstem, he's holding, he's defending. He is ready, has Guardian Shield. HonMonO diving on the sentry, but again, that shield battery putting in a lot of work. He does have the energy overcharge as well. I believe just used. Yeah, it was used. More Reapers have arrived, and we now have a second Stalker. Sorry, 3rd Stalker even. Yeah, up to 3 Stalkers. Pylon taking a lot of damage. The Pylon is going to go down. We'll depower everything. But there's a backup Pylon. Yeah, backup Pylon has completed. Ooh, the sentry still goes down. But there's still 3 Stalkers left. Yeah, the Stalker count is just far too high. And Harstem, by now, he would have held. He would have held. He's got another shield battery finishing up as well. He's got his 3 shield batteries. He's ready, he's good to go. Reapers are trying to bust into the main. Well, oh my god, 1 Reaper goes down. Going back in. Being forced back out. And here he's forced back out. And again, the longer this goes on, the better it is for Harstem. Harstem is on a 2-base economy. He has a booming economy here compared to HonMonO. And yeah, let's go. Let's do it again. As HonMonO, he has bled out how many Reapers? 3. Ooh, oh no! Oh my god, brutal force field. Losing 4 Reapers. That's a lot of Reapers going down. And here we go. The boys are being pulled. It's all or nothing for HonMonO, but there's so many Stalkers. I'll be honest, I just don't see this working. Not anymore. Right now, he's trading his forcing energy to be spent from these shield batteries. There's a couple of SCVs, but honestly, there's not that many. There's just not that many SCVs here. And once again, does dive in. Does get one Stalker. Yeah, one Stalker goes down. There's still 7 left. SCVs are going down. The probes are being pulled. And you can see HonMonO is just running out of steam. He's down to 13 Reapers. Does kill a lot of probes, but that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. Not anymore. It's about the Stalkers. Down to 11. Does get another Stalker. Down to 4 Stalkers here for Harstem. Now warping back in. Getting up to 6. Yeah, he's got a 3-gate setup. And Harstem is out at this point. That was the final kind of last-ditch efforts of HonMonO. That was his final push. He scares just to kill the pylon. God damn it. He gets it. Takes out both pylons, actually. G-powers everything there. Toast the pylons going down. That is a nice move. There's no Blink, there's no Robo, there's no Immortal. But there's still no army is a problem. There's just not enough. Yeah, there we go. Star steps in. GG gets called, and Harstem takes game at number 1. Whew. GG. GG, well played. Harstem does take lead in the series, does survive the initial aggression and all-in from HonMonO. An interesting build going 3 racks Mass Reaper into pulling the boys. Very interesting there by HonMonO, but alas, is going to be shut down. Harstem does take a lead in the series, and the question becomes, what kind of cheese, what kind of all-in is HonMonO going to go for in game 2? Because we know it's going to be an all-in. We know it's going to be an all-in. Could be a proxy. We could go for a 2-base all-in instead and get into 2-base aggression. We could go for a proxy 1-1-1. We'll see. We'll see. We'll find out. Let's go. We are here for it. So now setting up. Yeah, here we go. We're just picking the second game, and we are going to be loading into Persephone. Okay. Getting into Persephone. Players are getting ready. Persephone is going to be an interesting one just because there are certain features that can actually benefit all-ins. I'm referring to the healing pad. We have seen some players actually use it to top up their army, to pull back some weakened units, and to keep them going over time. So that is potentially going to be a factor coming into this. We have the goal base as well. We'll see. We'll see what kind of shenanigans HonMonO has ready for us. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Persephone, we have our South Korean Terran player. We have the Red Terran representing Streamer Zone. It is HonMonO. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the Blue Protoss player, the Blue Protoss himself, representing from the land of the Netherlands, representing Shopify Rebellion. It is Harstem, leading the series 1-0. Here we go, and again, Harstem, he does now have more experience, is now more aware of the kind of player that HonMonO is, and again, just because you know he's going to all-in you doesn't mean you know exactly what is going to happen. So we expect to see some hyper safe play out of Harstem. I'm referring to like 3 gates, Robo on 2 bases before expanding and getting a 3rd. That sort of play should be in the mind here of Harstem. Meanwhile, HonMonO, what are we going for? What is the plan? As we are not proxying. Is there proxy? The Rax is back at home. We are setting up. If HonMonO plays a macro game, does it count as a cheese? Specifically for HonMonO, I would say yes. I would say that probably classifies just because it's so unexpected. But that only works for players that know who he is. True. We could like fake out an aggressive build and then just be hyper greedy behind it and get away with that greed. Meanwhile, we can see Harstem skirting around the edge of the map. He's scouting for proxies. Yep, he does check the third location, the fourth location, and he does rotate over towards the triangular third as well. So you can see Harstem is being very diligent when it comes to his scouting. Again, he's that much more aware now. I mean, especially after their previous meeting. HonMonO going for an economic opener, going for the Rax expand. Meanwhile, Harstem has no idea. Harstem does not probe scout across the map. So he's in the dark, at least until the sentry pops out. At least he's with the pylon. He did. With the scan. Yeah, it was impressive. Hit the pylon. HonMonO, he also does scout the proxy locations. Checks the third, checks the fourth. Before pulling back. Does pull back. Likewise, we have a second Rax on the way. We're expecting a third Rax. We're expecting a third Rax. If we see a third Rax, 2 base all in. There it is. Third Rax has been thrown down. So we have a 3-1 setup here, all before the starport. Hallucination. Oh, the hallucination scout is denied. Yeah, big moment here. And we do have a second hallucination moving out across the map. Harstem, he now realized something is wrong. Something is amiss. Nice snipe there from HonMonO. Harstem is in the dark, but here comes the second hallucination. And it is so difficult to deny Protoss scouting here in this matchup. Hallucinations, they are coming in. At least it does force a second hallucination, but regardless, he will come in from behind it. He will get a full scout of the main. He will see all 3 Raxes. Harstem confirms 2 base all in. He does confirm. Back at him, what do we have? We have 3 gates. Again, we're expecting 3 gate bling alongside a robo. A robo on 2 bases would be ideal. Then into a delayed third. But so far, he's still playing safe. HonMonO moves out with his Marines. Hellions as well. Behind this, we do have a safety shield battery. We have force fields. Going into charge. Interesting. Charge-based openers are designed to shut down tank all-ins. So very safe play here from Harstem. What did he see? Yeah, did see. Oh, I mean, we have Nano, so regardless. It is going to tank production. Stim is on the way. And so far, Harstem is holding. You know, we spoke about it. Yep, using the healing pad, topping up those Hellions. Does top them up. Oh, I assumed it was going to be a Robo on 2 bases, but we're going for a Templar Archives on 2 bases instead. Which means we can go into really fast Storm. I mean, Storm would shut this down, bearing in mind that we're most likely going to pull the boys. Hallucination confirms there's no extra gases, confirms there's no starport. There's no starport. No follow-up tech. Again, when it comes to this move out, oh, we are supply blocked. But they should hit with like 2 to 3 tanks. They should hit with all the boys as well. We just send it across the map. Aliens, they try to break forward as Storm is on the way. And again, Harstem, still no expansion. And you would never play this heavy on 2 bases unless you believe that you're being all-in. So just hyper defensive play here from Harstem. There it is, throwing down 4 more gates, getting up to 7 gateways on 2 bases. Mass Zealots. Now, HonMonO, he sees. I do like this. HonMonO, he sees no expansion. He doesn't see all the gateways, but he sees there is no third, there is no expansion. The Hellions have been scouting diligently, and bam, CC. CC and a starport. HonMonO, he's now building up into a longer game. He sees how defensive Harstem is, and he knows it's not going to work. He knows that the all-in is not going to work. Now, on the one hand, you might be thinking, you might be looking at this, might be thinking, oh, okay, so it's good that he's expanding, it's good that he's working out of this. The problem here is that now Harstem can turn this defense into an offense. And right now, Harstem has momentum, Harstem has Storm, Harstem should be pushing out soon, and I don't know if HonMonO can survive that. That's why he's walling up. He's walling up, bunkers are on the way. He's securing himself on 2 bases. And now Harstem expands. So again, both players were very 2-base heavy. Both players recognize that they cannot kill each other. So we just expand. We just expand from here. Okay. We're getting some macro. This is not the original plan by any means, but we're forcing HonMonO into a third. Oh! 1 Hellion goes down. Harstem pushes. So Harstem, he hasn't really seen too much, but Harstem, once he sees the wall off here, once he sees all these tanks, he shouldn't try to push into this. That would be a mistake. Harstem just checking for the base, checking for the expansion, pulling back. Hellions are called out. Nice force field. HonMonO does expand. Now, from here, HonMonO, there is a build that he does enjoy doing here that is 3 base on against Protoss and TVP, where he maxes out essentially with Marine Tank. With Marine Tank here, and he sends everything across the map. So we'll see if he does go for that kind of style. As you can imagine, it can struggle against Storm, of course. But this is very tense. He's going for the planetary at the 3rd. Let's go. Let's go. Planetary at the 3rd base. Again, it would be a mistake for Harstem to push into this. I mean, he's a little bit more exposed now that he's spread out between his bases, but at the same time, it's going to be difficult. Like, I don't think Harstem needs to push into this. Okay, he's getting a 4th, thankfully. Getting a 4th base.
Mineral field depleted.
There we go, we have 4 High Templar. He sees the planetary. Sees the planetary, backs up. Push the main, deflected. See HonMonO respond here to the prism. And again, like HonMonO, he's pretty well fortified here. Outside of Storms connecting, I don't really see this being broken. So again, Harstem, he doesn't have to. He just backs off. Remember, he's getting a 4th base. From here, he can look to tech up even further. Start working towards Colossus. The bay is already done. Oh. Let's force out a Storm. Doesn't quite get the High Templar, almost. And Storm does zone. Army diving in. It does threaten the dive. Tank is going up. Cell's getting shut down. And from here, they're getting shut down. Again, it's still a very delicate dance. On the one hand, Harstem could land some incredible storms. On the other hand, we could, of course, EMP. As Ghosts are out. Behind this HonMonO, he should be getting a 4th command center, but as you mentioned before, like, he is prone to going for this style where he's about to max. He's maxing out. There it is. 4th CC is on the way. Looking forward. Here, Delta break forward. See HonMonO trying to catch at the army. AV's coming in. Oh, no quite. Still is yet to spend some EMPs. Likewise, there's still 3 High Templar in that prism. Harstem still looking for another way in. Here go the Storms. Yeah, Storms a do crazy army. Oh, better connection towards the end. High Templar does go down. EMPs do connect with the main army. But we still have those Storms. Still have those Storms. Raiders have set up. Templar out. Being cheeky. Doesn't storm much. See HonMonO trying to bait the army in. Harstem going for a massive Zealot counterattack instead. Okay. Does go for an insane Zealot run by. That means that this army is that much weaker. Right now, Harstem is at his weakest. because he's sending so much supply across the map. And HonMonO, does he notice? It doesn't matter. Yeah, Zelse do hit the 5th. They do hit the 4th even. Yeah, Zelse get into the natural. High Templar goes down. Zelse pushing in. SCV's going to be falling. HonMonO, he's being forced all in. He's going to go. He has to send it. But again, there's so many storms. He's rushing through them. Yeah, he has to run through. Takes down the High Templar. Stalkers are exposed. Colossus as well. And Harstem, he plummets in supply. He is pulling a supply here. He's trying to reinforce, trying to warp in. We have 2 more Colossus on the way. At the same time, Zelsis are wreaking havoc. Killing more SCVs. The armor supplies is still close. It's still neck and neck, but the production is under fire. And he should depower both robos. Yeah, he gets one. And we'll get the other. Zelta killing mainly SCVs, mainly workers. Harstem, can he push into this though? Oof. Through mine shots. Mine shots going off. Robo goes down. And we have a Dark Shrine on the way. That's going to be ideal. Likewise, the army's overstimmed. Yeah, the army's overstimmed. Harstem, he collapses in. And Harstem, he will clean this up. Ooh, he comes in from behind, takes out the tank. GG gets called, and Harstem, he will take the series at 2-0. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations, Harstem. You will claim the series. Again, a very interesting game here where HonMonO, he was setting up for a 2-base all-in, and Harstem refused to expand. Harstem, he's like, hey, I see you're all-in. I'm just gonna stay on 2 bases, get into charge, get into an 8-gate setup, rush into storm as well, and play 2 bases. So both players are kind of playing chicken. They're like, who's gonna come at each other? So in the end, HonMonO flinched. He got a 3rd CC. So did Harstem. So in the end, both players were forced to expand. It was still very tense as both armies maxed out, both armies were posturing, and it was a really bold move for Harstem to go for the massive zealot counterattack, but it worked beautifully because he forced HonMonO to rush into storm, right? He forced HonMonO's hand to push into all these storms. He didn't want to. He wanted to play it safe. He wanted to play it more carefully, but he had to go in, took a lot of storms to the face. He forced the engage, while Zealots, they kind of forced the base trade. Zealots forced the hand of HonMonO. GG. GG, well played. With that, congratulations, Harstem. He will claim the series. And with that, let's catch up on the bracket. Let's figure out what's going on, where we're headed, and what the hell is happening on that bracket. Exclamation mark. Be